If you in there, nigga, I'm ghost.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you want to see the full live stream that this video is from, click the link in the description down below. But before we get into this, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get it. We have our second episode of Here We Go Again. Now, the breakdown of how we're going to do it, we're going to go throughout the whole week. Now, when I do these are on Tuesdays. If you're watching this on YouTube, check the link in the description to the full stream. It's at the end of my chilling sessions. That's how we're going to be having these. And so, when I do these, they'll be right before NXT. So we'll start off with NXT, AEW Dynamite, and then depending on the week, most likely AEW Rampage and Smackdown, specifically because the TV everywhere thing doesn't want to work for Fox News or Fox Sports or whatever. So I can only watch Smackdown when it goes on Hulu. So if I miss some matches, that's tough. But this week I was able to catch at least half of it. But whether it's Smackdown or Rampage, and then go into Collision, and then finish off with Monday Night Raw. Kind of ironic that the first episode we had Raw Day 1, ending off with a bang. Not like the Raw in general, but like ending off Here We Go Again with a bang, and then I guess typically it's just going to be a dud. Starting off, we had NXT New Year's Evil. It's kind of weird that y'all have a New Year's Evil. Because at first I'm like, New Year's Eve, okay, whatever. Then I was like, oh, because like New Year's Eve. But then this after, I guess y'all just wanted to have that evil in there to have some little effect. I don't know, bro. But we started off with Blair Davenport versus Lyra Valkyria. Put seems cool, but why first? It was a pretty decent match. You know, this is my first singles match that I've seen. Think of either of them. Now, I think I've seen Blair Davenport at least, like, maybe when I first started watching NXT. I seen her do matches, and then probably like qualifying for the Iron Survivor, and then I seen her in the Iron Survivor, and then she had her little promos, and I think I don't no. I think it was, I don't remember. All I know is for sure I seen Lyra in the tag team match with Nikita Lyons, and I don't remember who she was facing. There's a moment where Blair hits a nasty curb stomp. I've been seeing, not even curb stomp, just a nasty stomp. I've been seeing a lot of stumps recently.
Earlier, double stomp right to the shoulder blades.
Whether it's curb stomp or just swerve stomp, or whatever it may be, I've been seeing a lot of stump moves. I don't know how y'all do those. Couldn't be me. I put Lyra has a unique fighting style, and if y'all don't know, like, especially a lot of these newer stars, this is like my introductions to them. So these are notes of things that I'm noticing. I'm noticing she has a little unique style. She's doing like little palm strikes and shit like that. She thinks she Bruce Lee or something. Fire Falcon Arrow from Blair off top row when I was about to go pee. So basically, when you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the clip up. Basically, I'm like, all right, let me use my OBS to screen record while I go to the bathroom in case I miss anything. Because, like I said, these are right before. And this one was right before. It was literally 8:01 when I finished last week. So it was 8:01. So I'm starting it. And meanwhile, I just did a 3.5 hour stream. I had to piss. And I was spamming drinks because I was talking for a long time. Probably going to have to fill me up a glass of water. Or a cup of water. So I was like, damn, I got to go pee. As soon as I hit the OBS, I stood up. I got like a couple feet over there. I just hear, I glimpse a little bit of it. I miss it. I have to go back and watch it later. But I'm like, how did I miss this, bro? And if you noticed last week, I was talking about some things that's annoying, and I get it. You can, it's television, but where they sometimes they let you get the first one or two holy shits when the crowd is chanting, but when they do it, it's not even like, oh hey, we can still hear their commentators. When that moment happened, that's just a prime example of like, it's off-putting of the whole thing being muted when a crowd chants holy shit. And it's like, you want them to chant holy shit because that means something crazy happened usually, but you don't want it to happen because the next thing you know, everything's muted. So Lyra Valkyria ends up retaining. So I guess back to the line, Blair Davenport. We get no Trick Williams versus Dragunov match. They say he's not cleared. He is not cleared to compete. Yo. Okay, we still good on recording, but just know when I'm streaming, my connection just took a nosedive. My shit is frozen, and I ain't talking about Disney. Okay, so we're good on Rumble right now. Twitch is like, no sir, you're good. As I was saying, Dragunov's not, clear to compete. We're gonna be getting we're gonna be talking about injuries in a second. 3 weeks in a row. Well, not 3 weeks in a row, but kind of. We get no quarter catch crew versus Carlito and LWO. So they just said that the match is not happening for New Year's Evil. No Trick Williams versus Dragunov. Everyone spamming boo emotes. Even during this match, like, everyone's like, oh, we don't care. Okay, who's gonna be their member? In my head, I'm already knowing it's either Rey Mysterio or Carlito, or someone that I don't know. And those are the only like main. What's it called? Those are the only main roster people that I could think of. Oh, fun fact. I don't know if it was just for me, but anytime I played, when I was younger, was watching wrestling, didn't know what it was called, so when my brother stopped watching it, I don't know what to look up. Then played wrestling games between, like 2006. I guess, WWF Raw and shit like that on the original Xbox. So I guess like 2003 to like 2013, I was playing a lot of wrestling games, mostly demos. But in those games when Carlito was on the roster, anytime I did like a Royal Rumble match or something where he was in there, he was always a thorn in my side. Like, bro, how are you spamming backstabber finishers over and over again? Anyways, I guess I wasn't cool. They brought out Carlito, I feel like they did that specifically. It was like, okay, we need to have this match and we need to bring out Carlito. Because when we announced that Trick Williams and Dragunov is not happening, we need a reason for the fans to stop booing. Can't have another 2014, 2015 Royal Rumble moment about 5 weeks in. They mentioned New Japan Pro Wrestling. Granted, they probably never gonna mention AEW, but when I wrote this, I didn't know that there's some deal negotiation. I don't know what it was, but I didn't know that at the time. Whatever deal or that they have going on with each other. And so right here I put, never watched Carlito in ring, but played with him, pause. Like I said, in the games. I didn't really play with him that much, pause, but he was always, anytime there's a Royal Rumble, Carlito comes out, there could be 3 people fighting him, he'll still go over to my character who just got done like trying to take on the Undertaker or some shit. Like like Teddy Long is my enemy, And then here comes Carlito just spamming backstabbers. Like, bro, they did this spot. Now this is one of my first moments back. Besides like, ooh, AJ Styles is back. And I came back around the time Randy Orton and CM Punk's back. So I can't really say that. And I was kind of predicting The Rock. This is one of the first moments where I was like, this was one of my holy shit moments. Listen, I don't know the LW Home members. I'm sorry, but it was one of them and Carlito on the ropes. The other one, this is more than a springboard, but as he jumps on the rope, they pull up the rope and he goes at least 10-15 feet away from the opponents outside the ring. This man turned into Superman. One of the craziest things that I've seen in a while, or ever since being back. I guess someone in the match was named Damien. Damien does a terrible chop. He clearly hits his own hand. Like, I think he goes like this or whatever. And it's like, bro, hit your leg like everyone else, or don't even try to make a sound. Not even like, I'm going to hold your head like this and I'm going to slap my hand like that. But I'm going to do it so fast that like you think I'm just like grabbing his head or hair or whatever and slapping him. The chop, that was the most atrocious chop I've ever seen in my life. There's a moment in the match. I don't know if I'm tripping. No one made note of it. I didn't hear anyone talk about it online. There's probably still mesmerized by that little rope spot. But there's a moment where it was 1, 2, and the shoulder went up after 3, and you could see Carlito trying to get to the ring. When I saw that, I immediately just thought he missed his spot. The referee didn't fully count the 3. I thought they were told to count to 3 not no matter what, but like, if they missed the spot, well, then that person has to hold that win. But Carlito was trying to get to the ring. He didn't get there in time, and the shoulder didn't go up until after it should have been 3. So he was like, 1, 2, no, it was 2. And then the shoulder went up like, bro, no, that was 3. But, you know, obviously Carlito and LW won that match. They're not going to send them out there to, hey, we need to stop them from booing for them to lose. We have a little backstage segment. Grayson Waller pulls up, and you know, he's talking trash to Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes is like, oh hey,
I'm so confident that Trick will whoop your ass and he'll put up his #1 contender shot tonight. Exactly. I love Mello. You don't miss, man. Thank you. Hey, I accept. See you out there, Trick.
Carmelo, you're an L-Mans, bro. We gonna get to you in a second. That's not the only thing you did. This right here, it was just, that's L-Mans. Later, it's just, not only is that an L-Mans, you're just dumb. We ended up getting Ariana Grace versus Roxanne Perez. I put Roxanne has fire music. I'm gonna be honest, I looked it up after NXT went off air, and I was like, yeah, this, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's better than all the other generic music that they have for WWE. But in the stadium, it was sounding cool. I said she seems nice, not like nice like a good person, but like nice as in she seems like she's, you know, a decent wrestler. There was a moment where, you know, she ended up winning. Like, to notify that the person won, I underlined her name. You can barely see it, but I underlined her name. Ariana Grace, I don't remember how she won the match. Ariana Grace proceeds to say, you have issues. Roxanne's like, okay, I'm going to lay the smackdown on your candy ass like I'm The Rock, but I'm going to be crazy about the word crazy like I'm AJ Lee. Because I put Roxanne Perez on, I said Roxanne Perez or Roxanne Mendez. April Mendez, AJ Lee. And so, after beating her senseless, the match was reversed, so Ariana wins. Next, we had a stable hand or versus servant match. Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henry. There is a moment.
Down on and wait a minute. Face first, shoulder first into the post.
Okay, that's a cool little spot. I just want to know, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to know, if you look at it from Fallon Henley's perspective, what were you trying to do going into this moment?
Homework here tonight.
Fighting for all those that have been looked down.
What was your plan? You literally slid out the ring. You didn't like hit her with an attack. She's literally on the ropes. But Fallon Henry ends up taking the dub because Tiffany grabs a chair. Don't know why. You grab a chair in front of the referee. Don't try to do anything strategic with it. Like, I've been seeing within the past week or so that a lot of matches, someone wins because someone decides to do something stupid. So with this moment, she grabs a chair. You already notice that it's not a no DQ match or anything like that. Not try to sneak it behind the referee's back. Doesn't have anyone distract the referee. There's no one to distract the referee. I'm going to hit her with the chair. What were you going to accomplish? You don't want to be the stable hand. So then that causes a distractant. I can't speak. Causes a distraction for her to lose that match. I wasn't really that interested until they did a little backstage segments where they were showing Fallon Henley, not backstage segment, but like little vignettes of her, like, she never had to work like I worked, and then showed her on a farm. Y'all could do cool little, vignettes of Tiffany Stratton on a farm, and like kind of have it shot like how they used to do like Total. I don't even know if they still do Total Divas or anything like that. Obviously they have to change the name, I guess. But where it's like you can have those clips in there and have them during the show. Don't release them somewhere else and then be like, well, this is why. We're gonna get to that when we talk about Raw. Like, this is one of my main issues when it comes to WWE, especially. I don't know if it's just a now thing, if they're trying that out, or I don't know if they've always done that. We get Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin backstage, thinking about teaming up for this Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Cup thing that they're about to have going on. And there's a moment, where Braun Breaker's like, you know what, yeah, I'll team up, and calls him Baldy and this, that, and the third. It's like, nah, I'm gonna be the one leading. So they're already having their little disagreements. They might try to have this be like, instead of, hey, we're a tag team group, or we started off as like a team hell no thing. We're like, hey, we don't like each other, but we're just teaming together. And then eventually they'll be friends. They did a little videos promoting the breakout stars. Like I said, I don't really care for these breakout star matches, at least not yet. But I put Oba thinks he's M'Baku. There's something that he did, and I was like, bro, he think he M'Baku with it. Stop it. But we have this little backstage segment with Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade. Listen, I mean, she always look good, but in that outfit, Cora Jade, golly, I tell you what. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. But then, to the breakout star, we get Obafemi versus Riley Osborne. Breakout finals. There's a moment where I believe Raleigh Osborne was right outside the ropes. He was on the apron. And Oba hits him with one of the hardest chops I've ever seen. And not a big wind up by the Big Show. I mean, boom, here goes a bullet. I know Mans fell down and was on the side of the ring like but during the whole match, Riley was just getting completely ragdoll. Thea Hale was in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? I know she was mad as shit, sad as shit. Seeing her boo thing get, you know what I'm saying, completely ragdoll like that.
There is our breakout tournament.
The crowd proceeds to do Oba chants, and it just had me flashing back to Goldberg. That's it. It was like,
Take nothing away from Riley Osborne.
Got a hell of a run, Vic.
Had a great showing once more.
I knew what they were chanting, but all I was hearing was Goldberg, Goldberg. We had a little backstage segment with Izzy Dame. She over here, you know, copying I won't really say copying, but she thinks she Margot Robbie in The Wolf of Wall Street, talking about some who, what are you, a fucking owl? Obviously she didn't say fucking, but she had to take that part out for WWE. We get I still don't know what I mean by that, but I put W Mob gimmick. You know, that's cool. Like, I like when they have interesting gimmicks. There's not that many interesting gimmicks that I've seen recently. Like, that's the one thing that I'll give. Like, I'm not really a golden era type of guy. I think a lot of that stuff was corny, but that was the thing of like the people who did make it work and continued on. So the Undertakers, the Kanes, like they had an interesting gimmick. And then I wasn't really, rest in peace, I wasn't really a big Bray Wyatt guy, but you know, he had an interesting gimmick. For our main event, we get Grayson Waller versus Trick Williams, and this is for the title shot for the NXT Championship. Before the match started, like as everyone's doing their entrances, I put Grayson might win to divide Melo and Trick. Cause like, oh hey, yeah, you put me in this match and I lost my shot because of you. And so no, Trick Williams gonna have to build himself up to get his match later on. But that's to, you know, divide them. My bad. To divide them. There's a moment where Trick Williams, you know, obviously, anytime he comes out, pause. Booker T over there hitting Atlas for his theme. So he had to throw his own little salute.
Williams going for broke.
Oh, hook in.
As the match is going on, instead of Grayson Waller might just win, I'm like, or somehow, some way, Melo will cost him the match, and I put question mark. Grayson Waller tries nothing but net.
Lining up his Waller.
AEW, take notes. Don't use popular lingo and then butcher it. Says nothing but net, and nope, Brick City. So Carmelo doesn't miss. Nothing but net. But you didn't get it that time. Brick City. Okay. Instead of what y'all tried to, how y'all misused Riz and like last week's Dynamite or something. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You don't know what you're talking about.
We talk about Melo when he shoots, he don't miss. Brick City for Waller.
Carmelo decides, let me come out to the ring like Trick Williams is about to win the match. Nigga, he told you to stay backstage. What are you doing? It's not like, oh, hey, Grayson Waller was about to win, but then when you went out there, you did more harm. You literally went out there when Trick Williams was winning. He was about to win. Give him 15 more seconds. So the next thing you know,
Holy! Kevin Owens! Can hand me damn! Big knee! Williams!
Trick Williams wins. possible heel turn, question mark? Because I thought that was your moment for the U.S. title to be on SmackDown, but we haven't seen you on SmackDown since then. So I guess final heel turn before you leave, before you get called up permanently. AEW Dynamite opens up with Samoa Joe doing a little backstage segment promo. I'm gonna be honest. I think I might have ended my gaming stream late or something like that. Gaming channel description down below. So I didn't even see that part when I pulled it up. Adam Cole was addressing everyone from, him being shown to be the devil at World's End. Got a little, Cliff's Notes version, what led up to that. Him basically saying the plans for each member of the group and plans for the future, and then they're called the Undisputed Kingdom or whatever it may be. The devil's here to stay, baby. International title match, Orange Cassidy versus Dante Martin. Started slow, you know what I'm saying? Later on it got better on, but it started off a little slow. There's a moment where, Dante started trying to use his gimmick against him, doing the little soft kicks back and forth. Hands in pockets. This is another one where there's a gimmick and, instead of someone just wrestling well. Close call when Orange Cassidy, I'm pretty sure he tried to get a pin. There's a close call. And then Dante climbs up the turnbuckle. Orange Cassidy rolls away.
Thought he had it won. Had that.
He's damn near all the way across the ring. He's not making it from that corner. This is one of the second moments in the week where I'm like, oh shit. He's like, you know what? I got something for you.
Dante can reach him. What the hell? Oh my God!
Proceeds to walk along the top rope and dives from there all the way to the other side of the ring. He's like, I'm not gonna make it from the corner, but I'll walk a little bit over there to get to where I need to go. But Orange Cassidy ends up retaining. Private Party interrupts afterwards. I put they have a unique entrance. It's my first time seeing them. We get a backstage segment with Toni Storm being interviewed by Renee. And, she's talking about, I thought we're in New York. Turns out we're in New Jersey. I need to be in New York on Broadway, this, that, and the third. I put Luther stay winning. Every single segment that I seen those two in, he's carrying her somehow, some way. We get the debut of Mariah May versus Queen. I'm a Queen Amada or something like that. I don't know what your name is. Listen, I heard you haven't been on TV for a minute, so I guess I don't need to worry about that. The reason I can know a little bit of what it sounded like, because I put it sounded like Padme, because Queen Amidala. So it might have been Queen Amada. Queen Amanada. I think that's what it was. My handwriting's a little clapped at the end, bro. Because it's like I'm trying to write this fast. I already have bad handwriting. I'm trying to write this fast so I don't really miss much. But I said, just like Toni Storm, I didn't care. In the backstage segment, Renee was like, oh, Mariah's about to have her match. She wanted you to, she was like, I don't watch wrestling. And basically just a don't care attitude. Just like Toni Storm, I did not really care. I didn't know either of them, and nothing really popped out to me. Now, I heard people enjoyed the match, but I don't know much about them. Mariah ends up winning. Next thing you know, music plays. Everyone's going crazy. I've never heard this music a day in my life. So we got Deonna Purrazzo. I put returns ? Debuts ? Because like I said, I never heard this music ever a day in my life. Okay, this is a debut. She's all elite. I don't know if that's how she actually talks. Like I said, I've never heard of her a day in my life.
We are in the age of the virtuosa.
Her voice, when talking, was sounding yuck. I'm sorry, it was ill. She was basically saying she's all elite, this, that, and the third. Oh, make sure you go tell Toni Storm that I'm coming for her title. Mariah May proceeds to say,
Tell her yourself, bitch.
hits her with the slap.
Yikes.
Deonna hits her with the slap back, and then kicks her in the face.
Yeah, oh, glad Renee got out of harm's way, because this... Oh,
Mariah rolls out the ring. Deonna does a little pose, and you know she was debuting in AEW in her hometown. Patriarch Christian Cage addressing the crowd. There's a moment where he's like, "I like to thank blah blah blah," and then she did this. I like to thank da da da. He did this, and then I like to thank. And he looks like he's about to thank Killswitch. And I like to thank myself. At that point, Killswitch, I don't know you. You better be on my man's head top. I don't know what he whispered in your ear to give you to give up your little title shot, but hey, man. All right. Then we get. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to pronounce your name, bro. Takashita versus Darby Allin. And this one I actually feel bad about because this is probably one of the best matches I've seen since returning. There's another one that's up there, but something in there brought it down. We're gonna talk about it later on. But this one I put Darby has personality. Not even just with like his like aesthetic. You can have personality with how you're wrestling. But a lot of people don't really have that. Like there's some, you know, NXT women that I'll see like have some personality in their styles. But like and another thing is also like, hey, we'll do this, and no one will really sell the moves. So it's just like, do I really care? Like, the match is going to be over in 5 minutes, and this is not really a big feud, and none of y'all have any characters. It's like I'm seeing the same matches over and over again. But Darby actually has personality. There's a moment 10 seconds in where it's literally almost 10 seconds in, and Darby Allin gets like picked up and like
bad karma in your life, I guess.
This is one of them where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I like this.
You're at the desk. I like that. Hold on.
Hits him with a mean knee. Takeshita. Okay, all right. I knew when I heard it, I'm gonna be like, okay, because I heard the name many times, but then as soon as I got to this, I didn't remember Takeshita. Damn. So at this moment, I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. Like this is around the time when I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is a pretty good match. I wasn't really thinking it was nothing too crazy. But then I'm like, okay, what's going on right here? I'm like, what is he doing? It hits the meanest mink. Golly. Mans was going crazy. There's a moment after a dive where Darby spits like crazy. We get a close 2 count. There's a moment where a German suplex off the top turnbuckle, and then a knee to the face, and Takeshita ends up winning that. Damn, that shit, bro. If you don't, thank you. Then we get to qualify for a match against the Continental title. Continental Crown title, whatever y'all calling it. We get Trent Beretta versus Brian Cage versus Brian Keith versus... Oh, they put the name up quick as shit, and then so I put nigga with a mask. You can see how much I really cared about that. I put it was a match, like it happened, but it was between two bangers. Cause next we get Swerve Strickland versus Daniel Garcia. Now, this is not as crazy as the Takeshita and Darby Allin match, but this was still a pretty good match. And you know, those are two people who have personality with their entrance, their character, their ring work. They have personality. It gets me to be intrigued by it. And so, it's all these different aspects. Personality, ring gear, how they look in general, their ring work, all these things come together, as well as, you know, storytelling and feuds and whatever, to really stand out. But when you have a lot of these things, specifically like personality or no good feuds, do you really care that much? I mean, even with this one, is this really a strong feud? It was just like, these are two, they're good in the ring, they have personality. I haven't really seen much of a feud with them specifically, but Swerve Strickland versus Daniel Garcia. I put Daniel Garcia hit him with an ass slap. Listen, I had to tell people when I play football, we could be cool, but don't slap my ass, because you will get hit upside the head with a helmet. I will wait for you to take off your helmet for me to slap you upside the head with a helmet. Don't slap my ass. I'm not on that. Oh, it's just camaraderie. I don't care. Bro. I'm not with all that. Anyways, we get a, you know, the dance off between Daniel Garcia and Prince Nana. I'm sorry, Daniel Garcia, you got like one move. Prince Nana got a whole thing, and Prince Nana, listen, bruh, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if you got some cameras in my house or something, or some cameras following my whole life like it's, you know, the Truman Show. But listen, half of those dances I came up with, bruh. One moment, one of the people who will still ask me about questions about wrestling when I was not watching it, he used to make fun of me of this one little dance clip I did in one of my music videos. That's one of the Prince Nana dance. And the other one, like when, you know what I'm saying, I remember when I was filming something, I was talking to this girl and I was like, you look like, because I was making fun of her because she was close on the steering wheel. Like, this is the steering wheel, and she was like close to it like this. And then after I was saying like, yeah, that's dangerous as shit, I was like, you damn near about to eat the steering wheel. You look like, you know, you put your stuff up and then turn on your music, be close to the steering wheel, and then like just be dancing to the radio like this. And she was like, what is this dance? Next thing you know, I see this nigga Prince Nana doing it like fucking 7 years later. Oh, she must have been your spy, man. She must have been your spy. That's tough. We get a moment where Daniel Garcia tries to hit a sharpshooter on Swerve Strickland on the announce table. I don't know why you would do that. Like, I don't know what the end goal was, because you fucked it up anyway. You fell off, and then the crowd let you know you fucked up. They started hitting the "you fuck up" chants. Swerve Strickland gets hit with a nasty knee. And then we get a nasty, in response, he gets a nasty swerve stomp to Daniel Garcia. I put W match, and then Hangman Adam Page pulls up, proceeds to throw hands. Everyone's trying to separate it. It's looking like Brock, besides them being like 3 times the men in the ring, it was looking like Brock Lesnar and John Cena when, you know, Brock Lesnar made John Cena bleed on Raw that one time. Everyone's trying to break it apart. They keep going, boom, getting their licks in. They break it apart again. Whoa, get their licks in. Break it apart again. And that's how we ended Dynamite. Because you can see I got, for this week specifically, you see I got Smackdown. And I put a little, because this is Rampage, I put a little space here because I watched Smackdown while I was eating. And I needed to go edit, so then I was going to watch the rest on Hulu the next day. Roman pulls up. I don't know if the mic was on BS. It sounded like the mic was coming from the camera instead of the microphone. She said, "How do you feel about The Rock calling you out?" He laughs. When I heard it on TV, I didn't hear anything. When I heard it on headphones, I could barely hear it. Like, I legitimately didn't hear anything she said. It's about to be like 2 shows on the same day where the beginning of it, audio was on some BS. Like, even if you go, even if you find a clip on YouTube, I don't know if the comment was still there, but one of the top comments was like, I could barely hear him. I don't know what's going on with the mic or something like that. We get the finals for the U.S. contender, U.S. title match. At the Royal Rumble, we get Kevin Owens versus Santos Escobar. Logan Paul comes out, is on commentary. I don't even know if the match has started or less than a minute in. Santos loses his backup, and he almost got squashed. Like, Kevin Owens hit him with like 3 moves. It looked like it was he had a senton off the rope. It looked like he was, I mean, legitimately squashed. It looked like he was about to be done like these. He it's a 2 count, so we continue the match. It's you know, it's not over with. But there's a moment where I guess Logan wasn't paying attention, or I don't know if he got the memo when it came to commentary going off air. There's certain moments where you see like one person's outside the ring, or one person. Usually it's when someone gets outside the ring. They always have some sort of spot that gets someone outside the ring, and then they say, how are they gonna blah 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 live on Smackdown or live on Raw or whatever show that it's on, and then that's when it cuts away. This moment, Logan is saying something afterwards and gets cut off mid-sentence by commercial.
Who's going to qualify here to face Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble?
I mean, it might be the guy that...
But there's a funny moment later on. I will say, like, besides that little mishap, you know, I wouldn't say he's the greatest, but, you know, Logan's pretty decent on commentary. Guest commentary. I don't know how he'd be for a whole show, but, like, usually they'll have someone go out the commentary and they don't speak unless spoken to. They'll just sit there with their championship, and they might say something like, they might say something when they first get there and when they leave the commentator desk, but usually they'll be like, how do you feel about blah blah blah, and then the person will answer the question and just sit there just looking at the match. So there's a moment where I believe Graves says, you have to, was it Graves? I don't remember who said it.
You have to respect the toughness, the guts, the will of Kevin Owens.
And Logan's like,
I don't. You don't.
and then as he's about to respond, then the crowd starts chanting, Logan sucks, Logan sucks. But then we get this. Hold on, I wanna check this one out too. We get this cool little spot during this match. Now, thankfully, I'm able to appreciate this because I'm familiar with Kevin Owens. But if this was just some person that I didn't know, I would not even like think too much of this. We get this cool little spot. Logan looking like, damn, this the guy I gotta face. That's tough, man. Another funny moment in commentary.
Owens looking for the stunner.
Logan kind of like chuckles. Who's like,
Owens looking for the stunner. Stone Cold called. He wants his finisher back. Super kick.
that's funny because it's kind of strange to me seeing like people using other people's finishers, especially when like it's not either tweaked or they refer to it as that. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. In my top 10s, usually they're in my top 5 all the time, most likely. But Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler. Now, that'll be like if they're like Dolph Ziggler looking for Sweet Chin Music. Like, no, they're just gonna say Super Kick. Now, after Dolph Ziggler, like everyone's using Super Kicks now. But before, it was basically Shawn Michaels did Sweet Chin Music, and then maybe once a year people would do, not like once a year everyone overall, but like let's say I was in there this WrestleMania moment I did a Super Kick, and then I didn't do it until next year's Money in the Bank, where like people weren't hitting Super Kicks back to back, or like there's times when I see people do like this person does 2 Super Kicks and this person does a Super Kick during one match, and I'm like, bro. But like with Dolph Ziggler, it was zigzag, and then he used Famouser and Super Kick. It was like zigzag, that was his move. Or the Cody Cutter is different from being RKO, but it's kind of like the same thing a little bit, but he brings some uniqueness to it. Or you have a situation, I'll let it slide for Seth Rollins, even though I didn't really like them getting rid of the curb stomp, even though they brought it back. But he was with the Authority, and then they banned the curb stomp, so he's using the pedigree. Or with the Miz, I'm pretty sure when he started using that, he was like, I think he was disrespecting Legends. It was like part of a storyline, I don't remember. That's when he started using it, because he was a heel at the time, and then he just kept using it to this day. And even then, like, I mean, you besides Charlotte with the figure 8, you don't really have Ric Flair on TV hitting people with figure 4 leg locks. And it's kind of different with submission moves. But Kevin Owens ends up winning, so we're gonna be seeing Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. We get Lashley and the Street Profits. They're talking about the New Year's and stuff like that. They get jumped by Karrion Kross and AOP. Now, I only heard a little bit about Karrion Kross. I never heard of AOP a day in my life. But now they're setting up this little faction they're about to have going on. We get a women's championship match, Michin versus Io Sky. There's a moment where I put W recovery from a botched powerbomb. I don't particularly remember what the botch was, but instead of like, there's moments where like, I think Sting had a moment like this on Collision, where, oh hey, I need to hit you over the rope, like let's say it's a Royal Rumble. Oh, clothesline, and you're supposed to go over the rope, but you don't get there all the way. Instead of them trying to, and clearly it was a mess up, so let me go back and do it again. Or like Sting grabbed them and then went around and like used it as more momentum. It's like you got the same thing done, but you just messed up right there, took a different way, so it wasn't that glaring issue. So in this match, it was a botched powerbomb. Oh, I remember it. Okay. I think it was either you couldn't get her up, or you tried to get her from the ground, and then you ended up changing it to something else instead of like trying to still get her up. What the fuck? Oh, Io Sky hits a springboard drop kick to the face. It damn near looked like a murder scene. That was a pretty good drop kick. Hopefully it's not a Kofi situation. We gonna get to that in a second. Michin hits a Styles Clash off the top turnbuckle. Almost. And you know this is the drop kick and a Styles Clash off the top turnbuckles, you know, some things that's kind of getting you to pay more attention to the match. Gets a close, 3 count, but Io Sky grabs the rope, and then, she ends up retaining. Paul Heyman's talking, they say, hey, how does Roman feel about whatever The Rock said? And he was like, oh, The Rock just wants to be famous. If you want to be famous, you do 2 things. Date Taylor Swift, or be smashed by Roman Reigns. And he keeps saying Roman Reigns smashed this person. And it's like, yo, bro, do you know how people use that word nowadays? Like, if you said wreck, okay, people can still say, yo, pause right there. But we know that you're not meaning in that way. So right here, Pretty Deadly, they do their entrance, and then I basically finished my food 5 minutes ago. I was waiting for the next commercial break. They do their entrance, and this is when I cut it off and I go to Hulu. Versus Butch and Tyler Bates. I put, am I tripping, or did the crowd sound mute? I guess I wasn't tripping. I guess the crowd was just on mute. And then I was hearing the crowd was just bad in general. Excuse me. I heard NXT crowds louder than this. And I put, speaking of, because right now I'm on Hulu. I said, speaking of, they cut Cora Jade, but not this match. Now, people, like Tyler Bates, I mean, I wouldn't say he's particularly bad, but I don't know. I'm saying I'm not really the biggest fan of him so far. And plus, pretty Deadly. I don't know if they're popping like that. But I mean, obviously not. You haven't been on TV for 5 weeks, but are we really putting that over any time they had any women's match besides that little Blair Davenport? Obviously, that was the title. If you cut a title match in NXT, bro, you tripping. But then we get our main event. We get Orton versus LA Knight versus AJ Styles. As LA Knight is doing his entrance, they're promoting Backlash in France. So, he's walking to the ring, and it's like one of the announcers says, I can't wait to get to France. It'll be like LA Knight. At first I didn't get it. Cause I wasn't paying attention to I was like, what are they talking about? And I'm like, oh, because then they said they're like last 1 or 2 sentences promoting it. And because it's like, yeah, tickets now on sale. And then, you know, they're still showing the Backlash France logo. And I was like, oh, okay, LA Knight, yeah. Because at first I thought he was like saying like, I was like, oh, maybe wherever he's talking about, that's where, because I didn't see where he's talking about. Maybe that's where he's from. So he's like, that's us. And we're going to get to see LA Knight. I was like, what the fuck? What is he talking about? I was like, oh, LA Knight, yeah. And they're talking about France. Okay. There's a moment where WWE, they knew they, like, you can't put it on commercial. They didn't even give the, you know, the commentators like, hey, talk about this until, you know, we get the break. WWE had to wait for Randy Orton to do his pose before going to break.
We're going to find out in our main event of Friday Night Smackdown. And it's coming your way from Vancouver, live next.
So if you look at it, they're, like I said, they have their little cues where they say, blah, 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 next, live on Raw. And so, you know, 1 or 2 seconds after that, it goes straight to break. I mean, when you're watching this on YouTube, just look at the clip. Just look at how long it took for them to go to break. And I love not getting to see the match, seeing the start of a match. So they go to break and then they come back and the match is already started. I don't know what led up to who. Next thing you know, this person's in this corner. I don't know how we got here. That's one. I'm going to be honest. I'm enjoying AEW more than WWE right now. Because AEW doesn't spam me with ads and spam me with commercials. And when they do, we get, even though I don't really look at even when they do picture in picture, I don't really pay attention. But it was just a cool concept. I've never like seen that before unless it was a picture like replay or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool thing how they did that. Like, you know, a lot of people should start doing that more. But even then, they don't spam you with commercials. And it's not even like, oh hey, I'd rather you, oh hey, this person, we don't really care about this person, they're making their entrance, okay, go to commercial and then they'll have their little match, whether it's short or long. Instead of, okay, this person does their entrance and before the other person comes out or whatever it may be, commercial. Start the match, do it a couple minutes, commercial, and then finish the match, commercial, backstage segments, entrance, commercial, and rinse and repeat. But especially, this is 2 weeks in a row on, no, 2 times in the same week. No, 2, yeah, in the same 7 days period where they don't show a start to a match. Actually, no. Because it was Raw Day 1. It was the tag team match with Awesome Truth versus JD and Dom, where I didn't get to see the start of the match. I was like, Randy knows how to feed off a crowd. He hits, you know, he tosses AJ Styles on the table, then tosses LA Knight on the table. The crowd chants again, no, one more time. And so, you know, goes, gives LA Knight one, and then like 10 seconds later goes to give AJ Styles one. AJ's like, nah, I ain't getting one. You getting one, bitch. Hit Randy Orton with one. And you can kind of tell a little bit that like, okay, that wasn't really necessarily the plan, but hey, the crowd wanted one more. Let me give them one more. I put LA Knight. LA Knight. I don't know how somehow, some way he got busted open. I tried replaying it multiple times. I don't know what move specifically. The only thing I could think of that was like, okay, maybe when I think Styles hit a 450. I think it kind of looked like his knee went close to his face, so maybe he hit him with his knee or something like that. I don't know, but we just see towards the end of the match, AJ Styles, LA Knight is busted open. Then the Bloodline interferes. I don't know why, but they said it's a no DQ match. They specifically said it. Like, they came back and it was like, it's no disqualifications. It's a triple threat. It's no disqualifications. So I said they said it's no DQ. They couldn't just continue the match even after, like, why did the match have to end? But I don't know why Roman Reigns decided to do this. Like I don't know why they had this within the story. Cause Nick Aldis proceeds to come up and be like, after he's done celebrating, tell him congratulations. For what? The Royal Rumble, the match at Royal Rumble will now be a fatal 4 with these individuals. I don't know what was the game plan. Even if you wanted to, like, lay the Smackdown, no pun intended, you could have waited till the match was over, or I don't know what the reasoning was for that to have, just for you to just go out there. So I put congrats, Roman, you played yourself. That's 2 WWE events. Actually, that's 3 WWE events where it's like someone did something stupid and played themselves. We get AEW Rampage. You get the Hardys and Mark Briscoe versus Kip Sabian, the Butch, and the Blade. I don't know, bro. I'm new to a lot of these people. I put Jeff had a little slip diving into a corner. Now, I didn't think it was obviously good, but I didn't really think this was the biggest deal. But I seen this spam on my social media. I was talking about some like Jeff Hardy, like he can't hang anymore, or this is what we're watching now, blah blah blah. You took one little moment from this 1 hour show, bro. But then we get a backstage segment. Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, being interviewed by Renee Paquette. I don't even know how to say your last name. I'm just used to Renee Young. I'm sorry. I told myself I was gonna always say Renee, but that just came to my head. Pause. I had noticed, and I think they, I think they did it specifically to not draw attention that they only did it to this one, but they did it with other backstage segments. But they cut off the audience reaction when Chris Jericho was the first one to do one backstage segment this show, because the whole little situation. Then we had another backstage segment. I don't know who Shawty is. All I just remember is her saying, "Hi, I'd like to introduce myself."
But I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Holly. You probably saw that I'm with the Outcasts.
But are you going to introduce your friend? Who are your friends? Who are your friends? You got 2 friends you brought with you.
I'm gonna be honest.
What other motherfucker you know?
I'm only looking at your titties right now.
Oh no, I can't say that. I can't say that. Next thing you know, I'm on. I'm trending on X, and I have to be fired from a company I don't work at. I have to leave my job. I have to leave my job because of that. But then we get a match. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander versus Kennedy Hardcastle and Notorious Mimi. I don't know, bro. Listen, and the reason why is I'm going specifically off like when they introduce people. So if I don't know who this person is, I gotta literally I gotta look and try to write their name. They put their name on the screen for like 2 seconds and just had cause this moment, this is what I was talking about last time when I was like a backstage segment, and he was like, "Oh, you was back there watching Rugrats or something."
Justin, hey, I got it, bro.
He said, "I got it." He's about to.
Stokely Hathaway.
I'm be honest, man's just hilarious.
Have a seat, little bro.
He stole your suit, Tony.
Yeah, I got this.
One of my suits.
All right, so he's gonna call the match, or like
Who the hell these two are?
Ejecting Justin Roberts from the ring. Who does he
I
think
don't
he
know
is, Stokely?
who the hell these two are. They don't even work here, but God bless them.
Notorious Mimi on the right, Kennedy Hardcastle on the left.
So, this is a tag team match scheduled for one fall.
Man's reading it off his phone.
Hey, this ain't participation night, all right? Hit the music.
Ain't participation night.
A lot of lip.
All right, cut the music. Cut the music.
He said, "Y'all getting on music. Y'all get 15 seconds music."
Is the greatest TBS champion of all time. And I'm not gonna lie, I wish she was mine.
Bro, trying to do poetry in his like
She's the
introductions.
greatest, as you can see. And every time I think about her, I think about that old school R&B.
Okay.
She's thicker than a Snickers. And she's faster than a cat with whiskers. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Chris Statlander!
Well, as of late,
You know, he gave you a good introduction.
Watching.
And you running around like you about to get it.
Partner, Willow Nightingale.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, that's all you get.
Yeah, that's all you get.
Stoke showing me.
Hey man. Anyways, then later into the match, she hits a move. Willow Nightingale hits a move, and then Stokely's like,
Week, of course, on Food Network Super Chef Grudge Match.
They can do it better.
but I put W Simp Stokely. It's a good thing we not on Twitch. I don't know why that's a banned word. That's so stupid. We get a backstage segment with with the Hardys and Private Party. There's a moment that he was like, "Oh, here's our T-shirt," and he put it over one of their heads, and that kind of reminded me of The Rock when he's like, "Here's the Rock T-shirt." When with Michael Cole, he was like, "Here's the Rock wristband, and hold it right there. Don't you move, little puppet." The Rock said, "Don't you move," or something like that, bruh. So he was like, "Oh, here's a T-shirt." And then one of them's like, "Could at least gave me an armband." We get Anna Jay versus Sheeta. I put Anna Jay thick as she thick, you know what I'm saying? Stokely said it best. She thicker than a Snicker. And then as I'm writing Hikaru, don't know your name, sorry. Looks like a Street Fighter character. A fan is like,
Yeah, and
I put Sheeta spamming punches. Yeah, she was spamming punches to the back of the head. I'm like, listen, could it be me? Could not be me. But it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too special. You know what I'm saying? Besides my first comment in the match. Sheeta ends up winning that. We get a pure rules match. Commander versus Yuta Wheeler. Yuta retains. I put didn't really care that much. I believe this is Collision. Open up, we get Sting, Darby Allin versus the Workhorsemen. We get 100. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. 100-year-old Ric Flair ringside, bro. Just live your career through your daughter right now, bro. Cause like I don't know what, bro. Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan has always looked old. I've never seen them I'm like, oh, that's a young person. You always look like you're like old, and then now you look like you're old as dirt. I put first time watching Sting in those 2 minutes. Yeah, I never watched Sting. I put audio echo ? Yeah, so when we started Collision, the audio was on some BS. We get the Continental Crown match, Trent Beretta versus Eddie Kingston. I put, even if they never said it, I could just tell Eddie is from New York. You could just tell from how he walks, his demeanor, how he looks, his theme music. You could just tell. And how he talks too. I put never really liked unified titles. Besides, like, oh, Chris Jericho saying, like, how I beat the Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. Besides him, like, saying that and, like, that being, like, the little flex or whatever, I never really cared for, like, I don't like when someone has 2 or 3 titles and they're like, okay, it's different where it's like, I'm a tag team champion and I'm a intercontinental or a world champ, like, where it's different types of championships. I don't like when it's like, oh, hey, I'm holding 3 belts and, like, they're both, you know, singles titles. Because it's just like, where do you proceed from that? Do you just continuously give those 3 titles to the next person, or does someone say, hey, I only want this championship from you? Oh, I'll take this one from you. Like, I've never liked unifying unless you're gonna be like, hey, this title's ending and we're gonna make it a unified thing. I'm gonna hold the 2 belts for like a month and then we're gonna make it one singular belt. And a month is kind of stretching. I'm just saying, I'm holding the 3 titles. I'll defend it maybe once, maybe sooner rather than later. I'll show, hey, here's the new design and this is what it looks like. Trent ate a chop to the face, causing him to bleed. I'm just taking a guess because he hit a mean chop to the face, and next thing you know, rolled out the ring, and then I don't know if he had a blade or anything. But all I know is he got back in the ring, he was bloody. Oh, I put I've been busted open. Let me slap myself. There's a part where he started, you know, slapping himself, and it's like, bro, you just got busted open. What are you doing? I put not gonna lie, after the power driver, I thought Eddie was done. He hit a power driver on Eddie, and I thought it was GG's from that, but Eddie recovered. I was like, damn, they really just took the title off him that quick. It was pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. We get Commander and Brian Keith versus Mike Bennett and Taven. Taven has some pretty good moves. They had a little team elbow drop. He did a little slam and then, you know, and maneuvered it into a crossface. Taven hits a team zigzag. I was like, I knew I liked him. Like I said, Ziggler in my top 5. We get Adam Copeland versus Griff Garrison. There's a moment. Oh, damn! I don't even know who won that last match. I'm gonna just say it was Mike Bennett and Taven. Eddie Kingston ended up returning in that other match. We get Adam Copeland versus Griff Garrison. He goes in for a spear towards the end of the match, reverses to a mean right hook. And Adam Copeland ends up winning. I'm trying so hard not to say Edge, bro. I'm sorry. And it's just one word, bro. Ric Flair and Sting going crazy backstage. I said, Ric Flair about to woo his dentures out. Talking about some woo woo. Bro, your dentures about to fall out, bro. Chill. We get Sky Blue versus Kiera Hogan. And I was like, as I'm thinking Theora, As I'm thinking, Kiera's theme is lit. It says she's from ATL, so I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That makes sense. But Sky Blue ends up winning by submission. It was a decent match. We get Claudio versus, I didn't even finish writing who he was going against. As I'm thinking, I don't know if Claudio has bad matches. 30 seconds later, they miss an uppercut reversal. I don't even know how that match went, bro. I'm sorry. But speaking of good matches, we get FTR versus House of Black. Announcer says, representing House of Black, says their name, House of Black. You just say House of Black, or just say representing House of Black. Like, I don't know why you said it twice. I heard good things about FTR, so this is my first time, seeing a match by them. I wasn't really too big on the appearance, but, looks can be deceiving, as we're going to find out. And then, Buddy Matthews from House of Black ironically looks like Torment from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones reactions on the channel, by the way. But, and the reason I say it's ironic is because, the crows and, they wore all black, and then, he was against the Night's Watch. No? Alright. There's a fire spot where so there's a moment. This is probably one of the better this top 5 spots of the week. I'm sorry. They do a superplex, which leads to a splash. They go for a count, and I believe Buddy Matthews jumps from the turnbuckle, hits a knee, lands on everyone.
Comes right now with Bates on one side. Suplex, splash, but the knee's got it. The knee's up. Look on the 1, 2. Oh, Buddy breaks it up with a big knee to the top rope.
I don't know who I'd want to be in that situation, but I damn sure don't want to be the guy who's at the very bottom of that dog pile. That's next level dog pile. End up getting outside. Double knees to the face. FTR hits a double finisher. And this is actually a double finisher that looks good. Caden Carter and Katana Chance, they actually have a team finisher that looks good. That team finisher that was in NXT, that shit was trash. We get a spikes pile driver on the edge of the apron. That was another good spot. I put L acting from daughter. Cause she's sitting there, her dad getting beat up, and then point to her, and then she's sitting there like the wife doing a good job, looking all concerned. The daughter's like, and she's having a good time. Hey.
Of Dax. He's not paying attention to Dax, looking for his partner. Maybe time to tell.
She must not like her pops, man. She must hate that motherfucker. But we gonna see that change in a second. Daniel Garcia comes in for the save with the chair. I put this an almost perfect match besides roll up. I believe 9 times out of 10 roll ups are never a good way to end a match. The only time that it should be the case is if you have someone like, I don't know, someone like a Santino or something going against like someone like the Undertaker. It's like, okay, this Santino guy is not going to beat the Undertaker. The only way that he would do that, or let's say we're going to talk about Drew McIntyre in a second. Let's say Drew McIntyre back in his worst 3MB days, blah blah blah. Let's say pre 3MB days, right before there's a little traction with 3MB. Right before those days and right before they look like two different people, bro. Versus The Undertaker. Are you gonna take it serious if Drew just wins that? If he has to win that, he has to hit a roll up. Those are like the only times when I'm like, okay. But these are individuals that I could see either of them winning. But they won it. FTR won by a roll up. Afterwards, House of Black proceeded to go crazy, getting chairs, destroying everyone in the ring. I don't know why y'all thought, hey, let me just celebrate. Backs turned to blah blah blah. Y'all gotta lead the ring. Y'all gotta be on the floor laid out like these before I even do some cheering animations with y'all right there. Hit him with chairs. Daniel Garcia, FTR, and as they go and they put the chair in front, kick to his face, laid out flat, and that's when the daughter knew how to act. Bars.
A speed kick on the chair, on the cranium of Dax Harwood. And now the only one.
So now we're on to Raw. Drew McIntyre opens the show. He's talking about how he messed up, blah blah blah. Then he's talking about Damian Priest. Like I said, he called it how it is. Damian Priest an idiot. He was like, why didn't you wait until I finished the match? I was tired. I was hurt. Not only did you screw me, you screwed yourself. You idiot. See, he then, I'm pretty sure he starts calling out people and stuff like that. CM Punk pulls up. And he's talking. He's saying, "Oh, if you got a lot of things to say about me, say it to my face." Blah blah blah. And then Drew's cutting his promo as Punk is just laying on the ropes, laying on the turnbuckle. Drew said, "We got a bet in the back about how long you'll stay, and you're costing people money since you've been here longer than a month." Brings up the little locker room leader thing. I think Booker T was the one who was talking about it. That little story when it was like CM Punk said, as a locker room leader. CM Punk said that never happened. I don't know. Why would someone who's not involved in that little situation have that little story? Unless it was trying to mitigate the lawsuit or whatever. He's like, I'm your leader now, kid. Them fighting words. CM Punk, you better lace up your boots at that point. But I put L motivation for Drew. He basically said, you're the locker room leader and I needed a leader back when I was blah, blah, blah. Now I'm the leader. That's L motivation. He said, I don't care that you talked about whatever when you when you left. That's Seth Rollins' motivation. That makes sense, even whether it's a work or not. This one doesn't make... I don't know why he doesn't like him outside of the storyline, if that's actually the case. But I do know, in the storyline, that doesn't make any sense. I was a leader and blah, blah, blah. And then CM Punk rightfully said, needing me to hold your hand or whatever. Like, bro, if you don't get out of here with that, I need a leader then. And, Randy Orton was going through demons, and you're straight edge, you don't have any demons. Okay, I don't know how you get that from that, but whatever. He said, you are a demon. But our first match, we get Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso ends up winning. And I put Judgment Day and DIY setup. Obviously, they're about to get their tag team match next week against Dominic and or as R-Truth would say, Tom and Nick. I didn't get that until later on. I literally didn't get it until it was posted on X or whatever, and I was like, or was it Instagram? I don't remember. One of those two. And I was like, oh, because I didn't properly hear Tom and Nick until they brought it up later, and it was like, who is I thought Ray had Ray was a deadbeat to some other kids. But we get Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser. I put, let me finish cooking before someone else gets injured. Now, if you ever seen, basically anytime I was cooking, if you not like that, but I was doing my meal prep and stuff like that. When I'm getting towards the end of whatever I'm cooking, I look over, and the next thing you know, like everyone's quiet, and then I'll just see someone on the ground, and then the match is called off, and someone's injured. So first it was Dragunov, and then it was last week with Imperium versus Kofi and Jay. So I said, let me finish up cooking before someone gets injured. No one wins. It was a no contest, double count out. Kaiser beats the break off of Kofi, throws a chair at him, runs around a ring around a rosy type shit, hits him, drop kicked his head, stairs, his head, drop kick. But then next we get Nia Jax comes out. While I'm still cooking right now. I'm like, don't have a match right now. Don't have a match. It's Nia Jax and I'm cooking. Those are not two good combinations right now. Rhea pulls up. And she's basically saying she's her, TV started lagging and some different shit right there. At this moment, Rhea thinks she Will Smith.
It's best to keep my name out of your mouth.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
But then we get the rematch for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. WWE really made Samantha get rid of her Chelsea Green announcement.
From Victoria, BC, Chelsea Green.
That was I mean, obviously that's not, the announcers is not going to get me to watch the show, but that was a thing that was interesting. I was like, oh, they have an announcer who does, different introductions for everyone. So it's like, oh, that's a thing that I could be excited for. Yeah, basically that's a better way of phrasing it. That's something I could be excited for when I start watching again. But they made her change it.
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Chelsea hits a Rough Rider. I wonder where she got that from. And Piper Niven proceeds to friendly fire. Just like my camera just did. And I knew they were retaining Katana Chance and Kaden Carter ended up retaining. I knew they were because they had the women backstage watching. Obviously, if it was newer, if they got their championship back, they wouldn't have to watch the match because the women weren't going after new NXT call-ups, if that makes sense. So they wouldn't have that segment if they weren't planning on the newcomers to retain. We get The Miz versus JD. R-Truth ringside literally 5 seconds into the match. He pulled a Seth Rollins Rhea Ripley arm of the shoulder of Dominic or Tom and Nick. And this is someone you can tell Miz has been around because he's someone who's actually working a crowd, having them cheering for R-Truth, cheering for himself, booing Dominic, booing JD, trying to get the crowd hype. R-Truth getting the crowd hype. The Miz ends up winning. there's a moment outside the match where JD is outside trying to recuperate. R-Truth like, yo, you good, JD? You good? I don't know how there's only like two ways I could think they go with this. Is R-Truth somehow gets in Judgment Day, or R-Truth finally gets it in his head and it's a fully realized awesome Truth reunion. Jinder Mahal interrupts Seth Rollins as he's talking about he's never brought a championship into WrestleMania. I put the joke is over, WWE. Wow. Like, I thought y'all had this one-time thing and maybe Jinder Mahal would have went to his rightful place as mid-carder, but no, you have him interrupt Seth Rollins and actually try to make this a thing and a championship match. Okay. Maybe he brought out some new things that I haven't seen. He must have, I don't know, he got the same roids from Drew, you know what I'm saying? Then we got Otis versus Ivar. Now Ivar's one of the people that's like, I'm not really interested in him, but he has a interesting, gimmick. A Viking? You know what I'm saying? That's an interesting gimmick. I'm not really for like the big guys, like the big boys. I'm not really. Those are not particularly the type of style of wrestlers I like. I was like, why can Samantha still say Maxine Dupree? I can't do that, but how she does it. But can't say Chelsea Green. I put her name is Valhalla. Listen, I'm not particularly Vikings and Last Kingdom reactions on the channel, as well as probably some other Viking stuff I don't remember. But I don't know everything about Norse mythology, but I know that that's their version of heaven. I mean, I guess there's people who don't have the name heaven unless they like do some little stage name, but they do have the name Nevea, which is heaven backwards. That's a little different. But you named her Valhalla? I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know historically if there's, it's not like it's a retelling, but I'm just saying. But this is what I was talking about earlier. They need to stop doing backstage segments and then showing the recap of, hey, the reason why this match came together was because blah blah blah.
This is how this match came about earlier today.
Show us that happening and then have the match later on. So then we're like, oh, if you missed it, blah blah blah. Because there's times where I'm like, okay, I don't know why this match, why am I watching this match? Then it shows the recap. Oh, happened later. I want to see the backstage segments. That's my problem with why I said I like AEW better. It's because they'll have their backstage segments, or they'll have personality within the wrestling, and they don't spam commercials. So when you spam commercials, like I'd rather have 5 matches on Raw that were built up with backstage segments and previous feuds and title ship defenses and stuff like that, then 6 or 7 matches, but only one of them is a feud and one of them is just, oh, I'm here for the title, and then the rest is just like, oh, we put this match together just to have this match. Oh, so we'll just throw this little backstage segment thing, blah blah blah. No, show me the full backstage segment at the time that it supposedly happened, and then show me the match. It's like I mean, I guess you can kind of say, oh, it's like a flashback, but that's different. Okay, I just started rewatching The Walking Dead. You get to season 9, they do a time skip after like episode 5 or 6. I'm like, damn, Michonne's being a bitch. And so they don't show you until literally like the 15th episode like 10 episodes later, why she's just being a dumbass bitch. So it's like, you're just hating this character. You did a time skip, and then it shows something that happened in that time skip, and you're like, why does everyone hate this character? Why is she being stupid? And then you're like, oh, I can kind of see that. So at this whole time, I'm just hating you instead of you just showing me that first. That's just one little example I could think of right there. And right here I put Ivar is unique, and Ivar ends up winning. So then they say Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura in our main event next. Meanwhile, it's literally just hit like 10:21, 10:22. It was 40 minutes left. So I put 40 minutes for the main event ? That means 10 commercial breaks. So we just had a commercial break. Get Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I put L commercial, which I just said. Then Nakamura entrance, and then another break. So after break, Cody Rhodes makes his entrance. A little bit into the match, the crowd's like, "We want tables" chants. They thought they was watching the Dudley, but no, I'm tripping. I'm joking. But this is a street fight match. Didn't really feel that much street fightish, besides a few moments. But we want tables chants. We won't get that until later on. It kind of seemed like, because I always wondered with Japanese wrestlers, like when American speaking wrestlers go to Japan and Japanese wrestlers go to the WWE or AEW or whatever, especially like when they cut promos, they always have like a mouthpiece, or they don't say much. I want the championship, and that's all they say. I always wonder, like, do they just rehearse everything there and they have a translator, or how do they call spots if it could get lost in translation? So obviously, if they're like, "We want tables," if that wasn't planned in the match, would Shinsuke Nakamura know what to do in that situation? And how would Cody be able to like relay it to him? Like if it was Cody and someone else in the ring, they could be like, "Okay, we're gonna do this," and then like when we're supposed to do the move said A and move said B, instead of going from A to B, we're gonna go A and then do this little table spot and then go to B. Okay, I don't know how they're gonna do that when the commercial break. Okay, maybe they relayed the information during commercial break. Never seen nunchucks in WWE though. I don't think I've ever seen nunchucks, but it was that I'll give him that. That was a cool little moment. The timekeeper gets poison mist. He had to catch a straight, man. That's tough. Cody Rhodes talking about get some help, bro. I'm hitting the gym. I'm fighting both of y'all. That's tough, man. That's a move I couldn't take. Poison mist. I got sensitive eyes, man. But then Cody reverses Shinsuke Nakamura. Throws him through a table. So he gets up, tosses him through a table, and then hits him with a crossroad to get the win. And that's how we end up Monday Night Raw. So from these so far, like I said, I'm liking AEW the most. Especially since we finally got through the Continental Champion tournament. And then after that, I'll probably say NXT, because they're doing the most backstage segments. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't just have, hey, here's these matches. Okay, this little moment happened, blah, blah, blah. Don't show me what I need to see on, like, you got all these shows on Peacock, and then you have some clips that are on YouTube, and then you have the show me whatever's on Raw. You can still have your little shows on Peacock and stuff like that, like your Raw talks and stuff. That can just be like additional content. But if a match is happening, unless it's just like, oh, we only do this maybe a couple times a year, I want to see why the match is happening then and there, so I can be like, oh, okay, I can start getting ready to, okay, maybe they'll have this match tonight, next week, the Royal Rumble, whatever it may be. I could look forward to it and like be like, okay, how could, instead of, hey, here's a match, I don't know these two motherfuckers. Oh, here's why this match happened. Okay. Anyways, I don't know how y'all view it like I do, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned for the next one, and I'm out. Peace.